Hello then, welcome to another interesting episode of the Candid Talk here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Evan Sokenya. I'm glad that you've joined us for yet another episode of the Candid Talk. Prof, how are you?
Good.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I can see you look speak and span.
Where?
So they say.
Yeah.
Typical African, all the way from.
we Luos are.
Why do you always call yourself we Luos and yet?
I'm not a Luo.
Is there a Luo from Luambe really?
I'm a Luo. My name is Obondo.
Obondo.
Yeah, Obondo.
I'm yet to establish.
Anjao Kenya Kagero.
Yes. A little bit funny, but here we are. I saw a certain report that revealed actually that the president by this month has made at least 132 trips. Same to the trips that were made by the predecessor during that kind of in the same window, in the same period that they had. Now here we are as a country, we are still grappling with the high cost of living and so on and so forth, and Kenyans are crying left, right and center. I do not want to go much into what the president said about borrowing and stuff, but then seemingly we cannot survive as a country without borrowing, so they say. But here we are. Now these foreign trips, don't you think we as a country need to come up with some sort of policy that would perhaps help us in cutting the cost on some of these things? Because why would you spend so much money in foreign trips, taking MPs and governors outside there, the president himself making a lot of trips on there, and so on and so forth? I saw this kind of approach brought by the late president of Tanzania, George Magufuli. Do you think that our president is up to the task and can actually take the approach that was taken by Magufuli in terms of addressing such kind of stuff?
You know, it's good to send the right message. Especially because we are going through very rough patches. And it will get worse. If people think they are suffering today, they are just joking. Pain is on the way. Economic hardships are on the way. Job losses, salary cuts. All these things are coming. Global factors. You don't know whether international crude oil will go up. Look at the dollar, is running amok. Appreciation of the dollar is affecting the Ukraine war. No end in sight. You've seen developments from Germany and elsewhere. There's no end in sight for the Russian-Ukraine war. And the things are going to be so bad. And some of the factors are, of course, internal. So you need to prepare the country. And that's what I want the president to hear. You need to prepare the people of Kenya to work with you during these hard times. They must know they will make sacrifices. Don't be like a father who comes to the homestead and tells children, we have cut out bread from our diets. This is no longer there. We shall be doing like this. No hot water in this house. And then he comes every day at midnight drunk. Huh? You are not convincing your children they need to tighten the belt. So because the country, like other countries, is going to go through hard economic times, the president ought to prepare Kenyans to work with him during those times by making sacrifices. How do you convince Kenyans things are doing badly when every available opportunity you are out of the country flying and guzzling millions of shillings with delegations from here I don't know where, with people who had no value to anything? And it's not just the money alone, not just even the image alone. People also laugh at us. But this was wrong with these Africans. What has this guy come to do here in such a small conference? You are perhaps the only head of state. Or if the other heads of state and heads of government, they have just come for maybe the official opening and all have left. Or they are only coming when they have a presentation to make. He comes with public means, a normal flight, not chartered. Not a plane from the country, not chartered again, just normal flight for the conference, lands in the morning, delivers his paper, takes lunch with the delegates, takes the flight back at 3 o'clock, goes back to the country. You are there, camped there for 7 days. What image are we sending out there? People think Africans are just stupid people. There are people who believe an African is not capable of anything. Because of our leaders. They are creating the impression that things are bad in Africa because of our skin, which certainly is not the case. Yeah.
Now, how relevant are some of these trips, the foreign trips that we've seen our leaders make outside there? And perhaps my question, I've always wondered, why would somebody, we've got delegations outside there, we've got the ambassadors here and commissioners representing this country in various countries. Actually, I doubt if there is any single country where Kenya has got no embassy for that matter. Is it not even possible for the president to involve our ambassadors there to attend those kind of functions and then give the report back to him?
Some of them go there to cut deals, to meet people you couldn't meet here, cut deals. Most of them go there just to do shopping.
Come on.
Yeah. That is why, please listen to me. That's why, let me give you examples. Maybe one example will suffice. Or even, let me give you two. When we complained that ICC was hard on Africans, third world countries, and not on America, who are not members of ICC, we forgot that when the protocol was being developed, when ICC, let's just say when ICC was in the process of formation up to ratification, there were endless meetings and engagements. We sent their delegations who used hundreds of millions of shillings. Because it didn't just take one day. It's a long period to create the ICC. What were they going to do there? Did they ever say anything? They were going there for shopping. Then when the ICC begins to bite us, so Americans are not members, so-and-so is not a member of ICC, so, why did you sign? Next example. Somalia is claiming our coastline, is that right? You know that, everybody knows that. There have been negotiations. Kenyan delegations have gone there. But they just go there to do shopping. They never take this thing seriously. Finally, we find ourselves in a situation where Somalia seems to have a better case than ours. You get it? So when Kenyans live here, it is for shopping. We are in love with Americans and the British and the rest of these people. We want everybody to know next week we are going to Japan. You announced all and sundry. You want everybody to know you are going to Seattle, USA. You want everybody to know you are going to the UK. Everybody who cares must know that Evans or King is flying out of the country. That's why people go. Per diem, to make money, to do shopping, but never for any serious thing. Nothing. There's nothing you can tell me you have gone to go and do. The last engagement, I think the one in Egypt, we had the second largest delegation. When people were sending 5-10 people, we were sending around 100 plus, almost, maybe with a little exaggeration.
And of course, consuming public money.
Public money. You should see the allowances people draw when they go to those countries, when they go out. Somebody comes and does something. You can come and buy a plot somewhere. You can come and roof your house after being away for 2 weeks on government mission.
So you just go out at once?
And you see, the ones you are seeing are the ones involving the president. You do not know how many other civil servants and public servants fly out of this country, almost on an hourly or daily basis. You do not know how many so-called workshops, seminars are going on in Mombasa and Naivasha. If you cut on that nonsense, you just say, yeah, you jinga to achane na. There is no training you can go and get anywhere. We can't give you at the University of Nairobi. There's nothing you are going to learn anywhere in Israel. There's no benchmarking because the world has become a small village. If you want to know what's going on in Israel, must you go there? Do you need to go to Denmark to know something about dairy farming? Must you go? And if you must go, let the people who want to benefit from that go, who are dairy farmers. Let them go. Government's role is just facilitative, to tell people, you know what? There are new trends in farming. There are new animals. There's embryo transplant technology. So if you are dairy farmers, the government can organize and facilitate. You are going not by paying for your ticket, by making it a government-to-government thing. You get it? Not the government to send 200 people there.
Definitely. And it's like you're trying to allude to the fact that some of these steps that we saw, actually we saw this with the former governor of Nairobi County, Mike Sonko, actually, who took a whole delegation of people all the way to Singapore for benchmarking how actually.
What are you going to benchmark?
And that's what I was wondering.
In Mombasa, you see MPs there. The president going.
Yes, and
the president going to.
And definitely that's what I'm wondering, Prof. Yes. We've got the MPs retreat in Mombasa taking place right now. Of course, they decided to boycott the other one, complaining about CBF.
Have been compensated. Never mind that the hotel was still being paid for.
Do these things make sense?
Which sense do they make? What are MPs going to learn there? What induction?
They say that
let us assume induction is okay. There are MPs who have been there for 4 terms. They are also still being inducted.
They've already been inducted. Of course, the induction had already taken place. Yes. What I'm getting is that they are there for a post-election retreat.
Audit. What are they? What instruments do they have to audit an election?
And that's what I'm wondering.
What data do they have there to audit the election? That's why even Azimio MPs are there. I mean, if I was an Azimio MP and I believed this election was rigged, I wouldn't be there. Why would I go there? Because of the 200,000, 300,000 they will get, I will not go.
So despite their
money, they are making money when they are there. They will get per diem, their allowances are big. By the time an MP leaves Mombasa, they will be able to pay their workers for the next 6 months.
So meaning despite the political differences and the tensions that we're witnessing as a country, for our MPs, there is one thing in common that unites them.
Money. So this per diem, when they are Mombasa, I don't know how much they get per day, but it's good money. And it's, you know, again, they don't pay, they pay per session. They can have a session in the morning, another one in the afternoon, things of that nature. And they can even say after the 2 sessions, they have also some meetings during the evening to join the groups. That can also be paid. I'm not saying I'm very sure about it. All I'm sure of, if you go to the accounts department of Parliament and you see the amount of money they will have used for this rubbish in Mombasa, even for the president to go there, it's also not serious. I wouldn't go if I was president, because they are organizing, use the parliamentary service facility where the president may not have control. I cannot sanction such a thing. I will not come there.
And of course, the president is going there, and the person who is actually going to speak just before the president speaks is none other than Musalia Mudavadi, our prime cabinet secretary. We wish him well, and we also actually wish to see the kind of impact that kind of retreat is going to bring to the country, and how kind of beneficial it is to us as a nation.
It can't be beneficial.
Like Kenyans are asking, do these things help us? How good is it to us?
I have told you repeatedly. The day we shall decide to be serious is the day this country will join the League of Nations. All that Kenya requires is a degree of seriousness. Hii vitu ya ujinga kama MPs kwenda Mombasa kukula mamilioni ya shilingi and the president going to sanction it. All these shenanigans of people jumping all over Naivasha, Mombasa, Dubai, where the president living in the skies. The moment we shall stop such and just say, this country must move to the next level to join civilized nations. That is the day, if you left here and came back after 5 years, you will not believe you are in Kenya. I know enough what is going on in the world. And I can assure you, I can tell you here today, Kenya has everything it needs, any country requires, to go up and join the first world. We have everything going for us. There are many countries, they will need first to get where we are before they even dream of moving the next level. We are at take-off stage. Ni ujinga tu tukiondoa. Tukiondoa nini?
Ujinga. So according to you, what is causing us our stupidity?
Stupidity.
Now, as we wind up this show, Prof, do you think that perhaps the president can be able to just wake up and make a decision as proactive as the one that the late, of course, president of Tanzania, Magufuli, whom we do miss as a continent, of course, we make several references to his kind of policy. Do you think our president is up to the task, or can he emulate the kind of policy that President Magufuli had?
No, it's not possible. Magufuli had a vision for the country and for the African people. He could not believe that the African could sit on so much and be so poor. So the vision Magufuli had led him to do the things he did. Travel less, make sacrifices, look within the country for resources. If you want to build a railway, look for the best deals. And he never, you can't do what Magufuli did if your eyes are on riches of this world. If you want to be as rich as the Kenyattas, if not richer, you can't do what Magufuli did. If you want to be re-elected in 2027, you can't do what Magufuli did. You can only do what Magufuli did if you have a vision for the country, to transform your country from a poor, dirty third world country to some serious country, regardless of whether you'll win the next election or not, and without due consideration to how rich you'll be. Only that is needed. That you don't want to be rich, that's not your target. You know there is money, you leave money to stupid people. Because you must have a very cheap philosophy of life to define things by how rich you are, how many billions you have amassed. That is, you have no philosophy of life. You don't understand life because you think money is everything. So you must move away from that primitivity of thinking money is everything, and therefore engaging in primitive accumulation with all manner of deals. So now achana na hiyo. Okay? Secondly, you must know that some of the decisions you'll make, if not most, will be so unpopular that you may not win an election. But you must be prepared not to win an election. Or to move as if there was no election in 2027. Sometimes the people will sit and they'll re-elect you. Yes.
No, well, actually, talking about some of those policies that you're telling us here, while making the statement about GMO, Moses could intimidate and said very well that, well, we'll lose a few votes here and there, but we have to do some of these things for our people to survive. Let's wait and see the kind of impact that some of these policies that the government is making will kind of create to the country. Finally, as we wind up on this, on weighing on the kind of situation that we are in as a country, post-election and perhaps pre-election, Mutahi Ngunyi says very well here that we are in the same forest, just different monkeys. The game is still on. Do you buy his kind of idea?
Yes, yes. I long lost hope that there's anybody in the political arena who can change this country. I lost hope. I believe Raila could make a difference, but he cannot take the country, in my thinking, to the level where this country ought to be. But he will be maybe better. He has some idea of what requires to be done to push the country forward. But in terms of the transformation I have in mind, in terms of the revolutionary change I have in mind, you really look hard to get one. Only Mother Karua maybe comes close to that.
A number of people will say our president is up to the task.
He's a good man. The president is a good man. He will lead this country well. He will improve the quality of life. This country will be a better place to live in, but he cannot take the country to the next level. Yeah. When I talk about the next level, I'm saying if you left this country when Manyora is president, when he takes oath of office, and you stay away without knowing what's happening here, and you come back after 5 years, you would not believe you are in Kenya. You will think you have landed in London. That's the kind of transformation I'm talking about. And this country has the potential. This country has everything you need from the human resource, the people, the climate, the resources underground, overground, the marine life, in the waters, the sun. To harness, if you harness the sun alone for power and other things, we have everything. How can Germany sometimes have more power than they need because they input in the grid solar energy and they see the sun a couple of months in a year, when we see the sun from morning to evening, January to December?
There you have it. Of course, you are up to the task and you are as qualified as any other Kenyan here. So perhaps we may see your name on the ballot come 2027.
I think I should.
Definitely, you should go for it. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to stop at this point. But as we do say, please do not fail to subscribe to our channel here. And do not fail to tune into some of our programs that are always be coming here for you. Of course, you know, for matters policy, on economy, you have Richard Mwenja coming here with Business Glide. And of course, we also have several conversations on politics. That is his show on Siasa Brigade. Please stay tuned in and watch those shows. And of course, with Jadel Kabiro coming here with political analysis of everything taking place here in Kenya and abroad. Ladies and gentlemen, till we have this conversation again, have yourself a very lovely day. My name is Evans Okinyi.